blessing, and every L is a lesson. So when I run into rejection, I know it's only redirection. I see the blessings right beside me. The chances are quite unlikely. I do it like I'm in my Nikes. Don't make excuses, they never excite me. Boxes, boxes, I cannot fit in the boxes. Stop it, stop it. Quitting was never an option. Exhausted, exhausted. This passion is never exhausted. And you cannot stop it. Nah, you cannot stop it.
Good morning, Knicks universe. Welcome back to another episode of the Knicks Morning Brew on this Friday, October 27th. Like always, I'm your guy Hector, hanging out with my brother, Mr. Jiggaman Porto.
What up, bro? What up, yo?
It feels like I haven't done that in a long time, and it felt good doing that intro when you just now. How you feeling, bro?
It felt good, you know? It's been a while since it's just been you and me, right?
Yes,
and
yes.
You know me, it's my little brother, so I'm going to call him out and start the show with telling everybody what.
Call him
so
out.
As everybody knows, Phil's traveling, right? He's living that new RV life. And Phil forgot that when you travel this United States, there's different areas with different clocks, right?
There's time zones.
Yeah, when you cross certain borders,
areas,
Phil, the time changes.
Boxes.
Right? So he thought we were calling him early. Just, hey, buddy. He's like, hey, guys. Good morning. No, idiot. The show just started. Where are you? So Phil is setting up. But you know what that means, bro? We get to hang out with our guests longer than he does.
Oh, no, definitely. And we got a fire guest today. Our guy, Marshall Green. We'll bring him up real quick. But before we do that, I want to shout out the chat real quick, right?
Ooh,
shout out my guy, Blood of the Panther in the building, the top moderator of all the moderators. My guy, Mega NYK. How you doing? Delano Stills Jr.'s in the building. Salute, salute, salute. My guy, NFE. How you doing? Good morning. Oh, we got the VSN family. My guy Bonesy's in the building.
What up?
How you doing? Like I said, salute, salute, salute. 3 capital S's like Jay Boogie always says. So you ready to bring up the guest? Because I'm ready to rock out with Marshall Green, bro.
Yeah, and we got to talk to him because, you know, for those of you that aren't familiar with what Marshall does with Chat Sports and the Knicks Sports, like, I'm afraid that if we ask him to be on this morning, we're all going to drink a little too early today before the Knicks game, all right? Because let me tell you.
already had a mimosa.
Did you? All right. Damn, you
had my mimosa.
Yeah, but I love what these guys do. We'll jump in. We'll talk with Marshall. We'll get it going. Let's just go ahead and do it, ladies and gentlemen. Without further ado, our guest today, from Chat Sports, Marshall Green. What up, Marsh?
What up? What up? Hey, I appreciate you guys having me on, man. I appreciate it.
Of course,
bro. I appreciate you taking time out. You know, I know the Knicks, they got a game later on today against the Cavs, and I know you got to get ready to do your pregame and your tailgating and all that, Marsh. Yeah. So appreciate you taking time out. You guys did an amazing job the last home opener against the Boston Celtics. We're going to get into that, but before we talk anything about Knicks, I want to ask you, Marsh, how did you get into this? How did Marshall Green become the man that he is today when talking sports on YouTube? You let us know, bro.
Yeah, so I always just wanted to do something involved in sports, like for my career. I played sports growing up. I played 1 year of college football at this really small school. And when I was done, I was like, I don't want to go work a 9 to 5 where I got to go be on a computer all day and do all that. So I went to college to be a broadcast journalism major.
Nice.
Down here in Dallas, Texas. It's called the University of North Texas.
Nice.
When I graduated, I was on LinkedIn and all of those job sites every single day. And I found Chat Sports and I applied and I applied and I applied and I finally got an interview. And that was back in January 2021. I've been with them since. And at the time, they didn't have a Knicks channel. I also host our Giants channel. So I kind of always would push to them like, hey, maybe we should do a little Knicks or maybe we should do a little bit of Giants. And finally we got to do it. And now I get to talk to Giants and Knicks every day. So I'm pretty freaking lucky, man. I love it.
That's amazing. And you guys hit a milestone this week, right? 28,000 subs on YouTube. That's amazing, my guy, because we're at 15 on our way to 2,000. We know the grind. So for you guys to get 28K, I got to take my hat off to you, bro. That's an amazing job. More to come.
I appreciate it, man. It's cool to see it grow, but at the end of the day, I just love, just like you guys. We all love the Knicks, and we just love talking about them. They're
Yeah,
fun to
yeah.
talk about.
I'll tell you, Marshall, I tuned in what night was it? Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Before the game. And you guys had me this close to running out to go get a Nerf gun. I was just drinking with you guys. I'm like, I want to take a shotgun. So here I am cracking beers with you guys. People in the chat, if you haven't checked them out yet, it's in the description. But let me tell you, if you can't make it to a real tailgate and you want to have a tailgate atmosphere before the Knicks game, go hang out with Marshall. All right. Because my ass was like, I felt like I was just hanging out with the boys. I was like, yeah, another super chat. I was just drinking with you guys. So it was great, bro.
It is.
I gotta tell you, man, you guys set me up nicely for that game. I had me a nice little buzz going on. Yes, how you doing? And the game didn't end up the way we wanted it to end up. So we love to sit here and have our guests not just come on and hey, Marshall, tell us more about you. We want to talk Knicks, bro.
Yes, sir.
Talk about this damn shitty ass game that happened the other night. Give me your insight, bro. How were you feeling right after this game? Like, what was your instant reaction to that loss?
That tweet right there, 14 of 26 from the foul line. I mean, Brunson missed a clutch fourth quarter free throw. Quentin Grimes missed a fourth quarter free throw. Julius Randle missed a fourth quarter free throw. You just left too many points there. I mean, at the end of the day, when Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle combined for, 11 of 41 or something along those lines, you're not going to be in many games. And you were in this one down the stretch, which is so frustrating because it's like, sure, the Boston Celtics didn't play their A game. We definitely didn't play our A game. But look, it's a season opener. We're right there. We're up 5 or 6 in the fourth quarter. Grimes just hits the 4-point play. You think everything's going good. And then minute left, tied at 101. Porzingis hits a 35-footer from the right wing. And I'm like, this motherfucker.
Exactly. And I felt like that every time he took a shot, bro. And every time he'd have that little stupid KP smirk, I was like, oh God, yeah.
He lives rent free under my skin, man. For sure.
Yeah, no, he definitely does. And I was at the Garden. Shout out to the Knicks Omni fan. Those ladies, they put an amazing get together, and I was there to be there with them. But I tell you this, the amount of Boston Celtic fans that were in the Garden chanting for the Celtics, it got under my skin. That right there pissed me off the most. I don't like that, and the arrogance that they had. But this is the thing: they did that while the game was going on. When they were leaving the game, they were quiet because they know those small corridors ain't that much space. They don't want to get spanked out there, so they know when to do it and when not to do it. Marshall, but no, you said it. 12 missed free throws. If they just hit 6 of them, 50% of them, we win the game. Like the story of the line, just like last year, make your free throws. You cannot leave those free points on the free throw line. You got to knock those down.
100%. I mean, and it was your top dogs. Brunson missed one. Randall missed one in the fourth quarter. I mean, a lot of people missed one, but I was talking with a couple of my friends about the game, and I was just like, I felt like just like a disappointed dad watching Jalen Brunson play the way he did. Because I'm a huge Brunson guy. I was pounding the table when everyone's saying he was overpaid last year. I was like, this is an underpay. Like, I mean, I live in Dallas, so I got to see a lot of Jalen play for the Mavericks. And that was like the worst game I think he's played as a New York Knicks. Yeah. So it was frustrating, but it's game one.
You know what?
I think we're good.
I will say this, guys. I was thinking about it last night while we were getting graphics and everything ready for the show this morning, where it sucks that JB had the same, him and Randall had the games that they had. But at the same time, for our fan base, I think it actually worked out that both of them had a bad game. And hear me out, because you guys both know if it was just Julius that had the bad game, my God, could you imagine the timeline? So the fact that JB also had a game, it forced the fan base to be there like, all right, they both can't have a game like that again, right? And that's how I felt leaving the game. Like you said it, Marshall. We were still in the game. Yep. Right, we were up. Like we obviously will get into the ref situation. We'll get into all the missed free throws and stuff. But the fact that they both had a bad game kind of let me have a little bit of ease afterwards. Like, there's no way in hell we see both of them play that bad again. Right? Am I crazy in thinking that, guys? Or are we kind of on the same page? Right? Because everybody would have cooked Julius if it was just Julius.
Right on the same page as you, bro. Go ahead.
100% agree. 100% agree. I mean, look, those are your top two guys. They're the reason why the Knicks had the success they did last year. And look, I think they're both turning around this Friday against the Hawks. So I'm not sweating it, but it was frustrating because you always want to win that season opener. It just feels like it is just one game, but it's the biggest game of the regular season.
And whenever it's against Boston, right? Yeah. Whether you're the Yankees, you're always going to want to beat the Red Sox. Whether you're the Jets, you're always going to want to beat New England. So even if it's against Boston, it sucks a bit more. But hold on one second. Oh, Phil just jumped backstage.
Mr. Time Zone is in the building.
Mr. Time Zone.
You ready, Time Zone?
The building.
Yo, goodness gracious.
Oh my God.
Phil, what's good, brother?
What up, Marshall? Holy crap, guys. That was nuts. I'm here. I'm like getting the family up. I'm like, all right, you guys have an hour till showtime. You guys can get ready, go get breakfast. And then Hector texts me. He's like, oh, yeah, where you at? And I was like, oh, crap. I'm in Paducah, Kentucky. Like, there's a time difference.
Wait, you're where? Padunkadunk, Kentucky?
Exactly. My sons are going Paducah, Paducah, Kentucky. And apparently it is 10:13 here, but not everywhere else in the world. And so,
Phil, when you answered the phone, I heard the kids bugging out. I was like, this man has no idea what time it is. Because usually the kids, right after we usually call, Phil's like, guys, the show's about to start. Okay, Dad. This is
like, and that's the thing about Phil's kids. They're like, they understand, like, okay, cool, we have to turn it down now. Like they're the only kids in the world that understands that. But Phil, make sure you go see the Honky Tonk Man while you're in Kentucky right now. After the show, but let's get right into it. Go ahead, Sels.
So Phil, we're talking about the fact that JB and Randall both had crappy games, and to me, it kind of seemed like it was a benefit. I know that sounds horrible, but that they both had a bad game same time, so it wasn't just oh crap, Julius is garbage. Oh crap, we messed up with Jalen Brunson. Two that you're expecting to really take off and be the leaders of this team had that crap. So
yeah.
I feel crazy, bro, because at the end of the game, I still feel hopeful. Like, oh, shit, we are a solid team. With all those mistakes to still hold it down like that, where are you at, Phil?
Yeah, so I'm hopeful for the fact that it shows that we have players that can step up. It shows that we have players that could step up in that second round of the playoffs where it seemed like Randall was very, absent and Jalen Brunson struggled. It would have been great to have players that stepped up at that time. My one thing is that I don't know if this does anything to change things. You would think that with guys being able to step up like that would kind of wake up some of the guys in charge, such as Tibbs, and make it where it's not so these two guys focused. But I don't think that's going to change anything, unfortunately. I think that, as long as those two guys have on nights, we're just going to focus on those two guys. Except, instead of being like, oh, we don't need to focus on those two guys, now we have a lot more in our arsenal that we can rely on, So I would hope that would be an eye-opener. I just don't think that's going to be the case, unfortunately. I don't think it changes the trajectory of what we try to do, even though I wish that it would make it more so of team ball as opposed to two guys and then the team if we need them.
That's fair. I love, heck, you're muted. I love how Blood of the Panther said, get that man off my screen. He's talking about KP. He's like, get him off.
Hey, I would want to take murder off my screen as well. It's one of those movies where the ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend come back around and they're the murderer. That's exactly what happened with KP. So shout out to my guy, Kristaps.
He still sucks.
So, Marshall, I'm going to ask you, bro, because before that game, when we had Fred on the other day, KATZ, we were talking about the fact that the team has talked about more passing. We're going to see more of that. And if you guys remember, Heck and Phil, I said, we also got to start thinking if we are going to see more passes, that's going to take a little bit of time for our team to get used to it.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel that played a part in this game? You saw a lot of the guys second guessing that first shot when they had the open shot, passing the ball off. Hart, Grimes, right? Everybody. Do you think that played a part in why the guys were looking kind of off?
Potentially. You did see that a little bit early on, and I love Josh Hart. I wish if you're open, just take the shot. Sometimes passing up a good shot for a not so good shot, it's not the right basketball play. I don't remember what quarter it was, but Hart and Randall were playing freaking hot potato with it on the 3-point line, passing up open shots, and they got a shot clock violation. I think it might have just been a little bit of that, probably a little bit of first game of the season. We're all going to be the extra pass guy and no one trying to step on, too many toes. But look, at the end of the day, this is a team that's returning the same group of players. And the Knicks have to use that to their advantage, in my opinion. If you guys have looked at the schedule, it's pretty tough to start the year. And sometimes you can set yourself up and position yourself in a season with the way you start. And since the Knicks are returning 8 of their 9 rotation players, I think that they need to hit the ground running in this season. And you always hear we want to pass more. We want to play faster. I've heard Tips say it for 5 years straight. We want to play faster. They never do it. They are who they are. They're going to.
Well, I believe it when someone else outside of Tibbs says we're going to pass the ball, but when it's Tibbs, I'm like, lies. Liar.
I'm still waiting. I heard Julius in 2021 say the Knicks want to play faster, and I heard him say the same thing this year. But nah, I really just think it was your top guys just kind of let you down. Because at the end of the day, they both still shot. Randall shot 22 times, Brunson shot 21 times, and Barrett shot 20 times. That's 63 shots between your top 3 guys. And I think that's probably how it's going to shake out most nights this year, probably.
No, definitely. But, you said it. If you have the shot, take the shot. And this goes to Josh Hart and it goes to Quentin Grimes as well.
Yes.
Quentin Grimes is a guy that it seems like he doesn't want to shoot the ball because he doesn't want to get screamed at either by Tibbs or by the 3 guys that you just mentioned right now. But if Grimes is open, you got to take your opportunity. You got to take your shot, right? Look at Emmanuel Quickly out there. And shout out to Quickly. I know a lot of people talking about the extension and is he going to get the bag? 24 points on limited shooting. I think he shot 11 shots, if I'm not mistaken, 5 of them being 3-pointers that he made, or 7 3-point shots. But Emmanuel Quickly had a phenomenal game, 4 assists. The defense was amazing. The big takeaway for me, it seems like Emmanuel Quickly played a lot better with the starters on the court, right? Normally when Quickly comes in, the defense is focused on him and trying to stop him from coming. But when you got Jalen out there, Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, you can't do that when it comes to Emmanuel Quickly. So it allows Emmanuel Quickly to be that sneaky scorer that we need. I know Tibbs wants to have Quentin Grimes in that starting lineup for his defense.
Stop the press. 19 kind. Is this the Chugga
beer boot guy? Yes, it is. 19 kind, man.
God,
yes, it is. 19 kind, man.
That's fun.
How's it feel, Marshall, being the known as the beer boot drinking guy, huh?
It is what it is.
Hey, it's a brand. It's a movement.
So was Beer Fest one of your favorite movies growing up, like it was for me? The movie Beer Fest?
I enjoyed it. It's a good movie.
Okay, all right.
So to answer your question, I think it's a mixed bag of why we saw passing. There's some teams that I've watched this season and I'm just like, that is their DNA. Their DNA is to move the rock. They do it effectively. They find the open scorer. They're always looking to cut. They're always looking to find each other. Our passing is a little bit different. It's like log jam pass. Yeah. It's not like the first preemptive thought is let's figure out how many passes, we're going to get. Few times that was right. But like you guys said, we saw it last season in the playoffs. Josh Hart doubts his shot all the time. He is one of those guys that if he's not 100% that he's going to make it, he won't shoot it. There was one time that he hesitated, and then once the defender started coming in, he actually shot the ball. He did this weird pump fake that no one was near him, and then when the defender came, he went back again and shot it. And the announcers are like, if you have the shot, what are you doing? It's wrong of you to not shoot it. It's right of you to shoot it and miss. It's wrong to not take that shot. And so you see that a lot. I do believe that with Grimes, it's a little bit different. Grimes knows that he is the 4th, 5th option, on offense, and that's how Tibbs wants it. But there was one time that I was like, all right, this is the Grimes we need. Grimes faked something from the 3-point line, drove around them, took it into the basket on 2 guys and scored. He has that ability. So we're starting to see, I think, a little more of that confidence that we heard about him in the offseason. But when it comes to Randall and stuff like that, you want to see passes. Same with Jalen. You want to see passes initially, not just because you got stuck. You want to see it actually happen. And it's funny that you talk about IQ shining in the starting unit, because I feel like if we just rewind to the Bill Pito and Fred KATZ episode. That's exactly, the point that I was making, is that like he would shine in that first unit because of his skill sets. He has that confidence to shoot it no matter what, when Grimes is still trying to develop that confidence. So I think we'll see a little more IQ thriving in those kind of situations. But I hope we see more passing, but I'm not going to bank on it if one of them start having like a great, like 5 for 7 shooting night, in the first quarter. I don't see.
I love what Marshall said about that moment where it was hot potato, right? And that's what the joke I was making, Marshall, was I felt like at times guys' faces were like, wait, how many passes was that? Oh, no, we need one more. Tip said 4 passes minimum, right? So like open up. Yeah, right? So it felt like that at times. It was like, this is not the kind of passing I want to see. But Marshall, man, for you in that game, what was a highlight for you? Like what gave you confidence about this squad moving forward?
Yeah, love the way Quickly played. I'm a huge Quickly guy, and I know Begley, he predicted, or he said he would bet a couple of days ago, this is his last year with the Knicks after he didn't get that extension done. I talked about that on the channel yesterday. And look, we understand what it is with Quickly, right? Didn't get the deal. I think the Knicks just kind of wanted to have the opportunity to still trade him if they wanted to, because if they sign that extension, you can't trade him for 6 months. But I love the way he played, and considering his season last year was so great in the regular season, should have been the 6th man of the year. But ultimately, we can all agree he left a lot to be desired in the playoffs. He kind of just wasn't that IQ that we all love. He wasn't dancing, he wasn't prancing, he wasn't doing any of that. And then he got hurt and he missed the remainder of the series with that ankle injury. So to see him after that come back, didn't get the contract deal, and honestly looked like the best. I know he's not, but looked like the best player in the game. The dude couldn't miss. He saw green on the Boston Celtics, and he just blacked out like he always does. 24 points, 4 assists, 71%. Love the way he played. And like you guys said, I like seeing him play next to Jalen Brunson. I like having that identity on the floor of having 2 guys that can put it on the deck, create for themselves and create for others, because sometimes when Brunson's off or when he's not in the court, like against that Heat series, the offense just goes stagnant, and you need someone that can move. And I'm a big fan of Quickly. I also like what I saw from RJ. I'm a pretty big critic of RJ, just because I think I realize how special he can be. And the fastest way for the Knicks to get to where we want to get them to is for that guy to be that guy. I love the way he played. I like seeing him get out in transition. That dunk that he threw down was electric. He looked a little more nimble, looked a little like he had a little bit more juice. And he shot the ball from 3 well. He was at 2 for 4 until he took one late 3, and I think he airballed it from the corner or whatever. But I like the way RJ played. I was encouraged by that. And I thought he had a little bit more finesse on his finishes around the rim, which was an area he grew in last year. And I want to see him take another step in that spot this year for sure.
Yeah, I'll throw it to you, Heck, because right there with RJ, right? We all talked about it in the offseason. If we can get Canada version, a piece of that's going to go well for our team, right? So seeing that from him, and again, I go back to the original statement of, yes, JB and Randall had a horrible game, but to be able to sit here and say, yo, IQ balled, RJ looked good. If these 2 guys do what they do, we're not sitting here stressing that Boston game in my mind at all. It took the rest to screw us. It took us shooting like dog crap for us to actually lose that game. Go ahead, Heck. Talk on RJ, bro.
No,
and real quick, everybody in the chat, we will be doing open panel Friday.
Yes.
The first one of the season is here. So hang out, relax. We'll drop it in here shortly. Go ahead, Heck.
Definitely. No, when it comes to RJ Barrett, right, we always wanted to see the Maple Assassin like finally show himself, right? I want to see what RJ Barrett does tonight, because we're used to RJ Barrett having a good game and then disappearing for the next 3 to 5 games, or just being mediocre over the next stretches of game. I want to see RJ Barrett put together a solid 5-game stretch of doing what he did in the opener against the Boston Celtics. When it comes to RJ Barrett, seeing him attack the basket, get into the free throw line, to me was the best thing about that game. And as the season goes on and he gets more confidence, I think the referees will start giving him a lot more calls when they get to see that that's something that he's going to start normally doing. he hasn't gotten the respect from the referees yet when it comes to getting that whistle. You saw it in that game. There was a few calls that should have went his way when it didn't, but I'm confident that RJ Barrett will take that leap this year. It feels like he's been here forever. Like it literally feels like RJ Barrett is like a 10 to 15 year veteran, but he's in his 5th year in the NBA.
You mean you feel like you've been fighting with the Twitter timeline for years about RJ?
My man got a doctorate in the NBA. That's how long he's been with the Knicks right now. But no, RJ Barrett, I want to see him take that leap. And like Marshall said, if we want to be anything, if we want to be competing for that at the end of the season, we need RJ Barrett to live up his potential to be in that 3rd pick in the draft, right? There's a lot of people that are saying RJ Barrett has not lived up to that potential, and maybe warranted, maybe not warranted, but I feel that if RJ Barrett was taken with the 7th pick or the 8th pick or the 9th pick, none of those conversations would be happening. It's because where he was taken in the draft that a lot of criticism comes towards RJ Barrett.
Phil, I want you to speak on RJ, but I also want to say you dropped the good, bad, and ugly yesterday. Okay. And I want to give you credit, not just because the take was dope, but the fact that you're able to sit on a bench out in a park and be so comfortable doing it. I would have been that guy every time someone walked by. I've been like, squirrel, and had to do it over and over. You just like, blah, 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 blah. People walking by, old person was looking behind you like, what is he doing? So great job, but talk on RJ, bro.
Yeah, appreciate
and you was in Kentucky, too. That's the crazy thing. Go ahead.
I was in Savannah, Georgia at that park. That was before the time zone shift, before I screwed everything up. But it was funny because halfway through the take, I had to redo it. My son comes over with his like big old thing of gelato and was like, "Hey, Dad, my gelato is awesome." Let's re-record that. That's great. What up, Allah Wise? What up?
Wise, peace, God.
So yeah, when it comes to RJ, he was my good in the good, the bad, the ugly from yesterday. And the reason is that we talked about it all throughout the offseason. It's the fact that he's always had strength. That's something that we've always relied on, is that he has strength and confidence when he goes to the basket. However, a lot of times we do not see him finish at the basket. Like he would get bumped off of his trajectory, regardless of how strong he is, he would get bumped. And all of a sudden that ball would be nowhere close to the rim, or, there just wouldn't be a good turnover of like actual efficiency there. But we saw in FIBA this summer, him getting knocked around and him being able to power through that. And we saw that last night. We saw him take those hits and him just kind of like straight up demolition man, Rocky Balboa type, just kind of shrug those off and keep making his way to the basket. So if you look at his numbers, this is the kind of RJ performance we want to see. It wasn't just his efficiency, but his free throws were ridiculous. So whether or not you make, the basket or not, he would leave points on the table all the time last season. He would get to the free throw line. He'd go 1 for 2 or 0 for 2. And that kind of stockpiles up when you're losing by 5-point games. And so to see him be able to go 6 for 7 last night, as well as shooting 40% from 3, the fact that his defense, and that's something that people are, needing to give him credit for last night too. When it came to his defense, he locked down Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum only shot 20% when it was him that was guarding him, as opposed to Jason Tatum shooting 70% when the rest of the team was guarding him. Huge difference. So got to give, my props to him. And the other thing I want to say is we talked about the assists. I don't want to crucify Jalen Brunson and RJ, and Julius, without also saying that when it came to assists, they were our number 1 and number 2 when it comes to assists, for our team, and also the game in totality. That's between us and Boston. Someone made a remark, well, that's because anytime they got a pass, they didn't make it, so no one else could get an assist. And so I laughed a little bit like that when I got that comment on my video. But I do have to give it up that they were the assist leaders, regardless of the scenario.
Well, I even laughed when Julius made his comment. We just missed shots. The basket had a lid on it, but those are shots that we'll take and we'll make. Isn't it so Knicks, Marshall, that RJ finally gives us a game again to start the season that we want, and then the other pieces just fall short? Like, so Knicks to start the season, man.
Agreed. I just remember last year in the postseason, it was like, can we get one game where Brunson's good, RJ's good, Randall's good? and Quickly's good because we didn't have any of those in the postseason last year. And you're right on. Like that's what's so encouraging. Like I hate moral victories. I don't believe in moral
right. Of course,
like,
of course.
They looked like outside of those two, they played really well. I loved what I saw from Hartenstein when he came in for Mitch in foul trouble. I was a guy that I liked the signing, and in the first 20 games last year, I was like, all right, just like every Knicks fan was like, I don't know about this guy. And then he turned it up and he started playing like a dog. So I'm a big fan of him.
Oh, Marshall, I'm right there, bro. 20 games in, and then all of a sudden I started the I Heart fan club, bro. I read publicly. Sign me up as the president. But I'm a big fan of his.
What's crazy though about that game to me is like you said, Randall and Brunson led the team in assists, and they also led the team in shots. So it's like if they just made their shots, like they were already dishing the ball, and the Knicks shot so well from three. I think they shot like 43%. Maybe 18 of 41. That's going to be hard to duplicate. So I wonder if the assist numbers were a little bit inflated because they shot so well from three. And outside of Quickly and Brunson, we don't really have anyone that just creates their own shots off threes. But I'm encouraged by this game, and I'm really excited to see how they match up against this Hawks squad tonight.
No, I'm definitely encouraged by it, and that's what I'm trying to say. If there's a silver lining, it's the fact that let's just put it out there. The Boston Celtics, people are predicting them to be the 1st or 2 seed in the East. Just start off with that right there. So the fact that we were in the game, we lost by 4 points with our 2 top dogs not showing up when it comes to Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle. To me, that has to be a silver lining to give us confidence going into the season, knowing that, you know what, we have something here. If our guys just show up, like we all been saying when it comes to the 2 of them, if they would have showed up, we would have won this game. If they would have hit 50% of those free throws, half of those free throws that we missed, we would have won this game. If the referees didn't referee last night in the other game, we would have won that game, right? So that's the silver lining to me. And I just want to start off by saying this. This season is the 4th season in a row that we have Tibbs and we have the front office. As Knicks fans, we haven't seen that consistency. And I want to wave the flag right now as the company man for the season. When it comes to what they're doing in the Garden, I appreciate the fact that James Dolan is using his billionaire money to focus on other things and not try to be all involved with the Knicks. Finally, don't stop it. Stop it. So
it's Anthony MSG. He said you cannot borrow the company man name. My bad, Anthony. My bad. All right?
Shout out my guy, Anthony MSG. I ran into him when I was at the Garden for opening night. So shout out to my guy, Anthony MSG. Good guy. But no, honestly, like as a Knicks fan growing up, we're used to the constant turnover. We're used to a coach being fired after 2 seasons, a GM being fired after 2 or 3 seasons. We've never had a level of consistency like we've had right now under Tibbs and under Leon Rose. So in Leon Rose, I trust.
I'm not going that far. It's not the NBA nightcap, so I haven't had anything to drink. I think Hector has. He started early this morning.
I had a mimosa.
But one thing I will say is it's kind of crazy that you talk about our 2 guys being ineffective, and yet we were still in it, because if I would have watched that game without the scores on the bottom, like if you would have just watched it, like coming in, especially in that first half, you would have thought we were down like 15 to 20 points. Like if you would have watched it without sound and without, the words at the bottom, you would have been like, holy crap, this is like a freaking Halloween movie, just watching my team get slaughtered. But that's not what happened at all. It was like small things that if you don't pay close attention to, you miss, like guys stepping up here and there. So that's at least promising to me. It's at least promising because if that call would have went our way, which it should have, we would have been able to, have those free throws. Not saying we would have hit those free throws because Jalen Brunson had some doinks off the rim, like from the free throw line. But there's that possibility, there's the possibility. And even if they would have made some of their shots, my whole thing is though, I don't want to see the pendulum switch so much that if they do start making the shots, the ball movement slows down. Yeah. The other players do not get their opportunities to contribute because then we're exchanging one for the other. Like all the things that were good that helped us stay in that game are no longer going to be used. So it's got to be a balance of, hey, Jalen and Randall are on tonight, but we're still doing these other things. And that's what makes us compete against these other teams that are, top tier. Because if we just go blow for blow, 2-3 guys versus 2-3 guys, as much as I love our team, there's no way, like in a 7-game series, we're going blow for blow with the top 4 from the Boston if we just go 4 guys on 4 guys. There has to be the strength of our core as well as all of our rotation players. Our strength is in the fact that we have a deep bench, so we have to rely on that.
Yeah. Go ahead. I know you were about to say something, Marshall.
No, yeah, I agree. Like 100% agree. Like our strength is we have depth in numbers. Our top 9 can match up against a lot of top 9s in this team. One thing like I do want to take away from that game was last year the Knicks, they played in so many tight games down the stretch. 45 games last year for the Knicks where it's called clutch time, where it's a game in the last 5 minutes, 5-point game. 43 games. The Knicks were 23-22 in those games. So I want to see them now, another year with Brunson, another year with Randall. Like they need to be better in those clutch games. They ranked 14th best win percentage, 51%. Milwaukee, 77%. Can we get into that top 10 in those clutch games? Because the way Tibbs coaches in the regular season, he's going to grind out those wins you're not supposed to win that you probably want to win by 10. So can we be better in those final 5 minutes? It's going to be really interesting to see because the closing lineup is going to change so much. You didn't see RJ in there for a little bit. Then he got back in there. Then Grimes was in. Then Hart was in. Then Quickly was in. Tibbs is going to be juggling that closing lineup all year long, and we'll all be critiquing him as he goes.
Well, you know what? Marshall just brought up 2 things in that right there that we have to address, okay? One of them, and no graphic needed, can anybody explain the Tibbs taking out RJ for so long in that like
7 minutes?
7 minutes. I mean, I understand give him a break for a minute or 2, but come on, that goes back to your clutch situation right there, right? You're taking one of the 2 guys that's literally giving you the points, playing, lights out, and then you pull him out for 7 minutes. What was it? Only 2 minutes left in the game where you brought him back in?
Yeah, after under 3 minutes. He came in the game under 3. And I'm gonna tell you this right now, as somebody that was in the Garden when that fourth quarter was going on, as soon as he took RJ Barrett out, everyone was like, what are you doing? And anytime there was a stoppage, anytime the Bulls stopped, and I guess it went to commercial break and they took time to come back, fans were chanting RJ's name. We want RJ. We need RJ. And the fan base knows RJ was going good. He had 24 points when he was taken out. When he was brought back in, RJ didn't score down the stretch. And that's the reason why. And at the same time, while that fourth quarter was going on and RJ wasn't on the floor, he was standing up. Like he was standing up, wanting to be on that court. You could tell he wanted to. He was literally like, what am I going to? What am I going to do? When are you going to put me back in? RJ wanted to be out there. And that right there was a bad move from Tibbs. You see, Phil, I could criticize Tibbs.
No, and it's true because if you look at it when I don't remember what camera angle it was, but one of the angles where he was coming off and he got called out by Tibbs, RJ went up to Johnny Bryant and was like, why? What the heck? Why? Like he didn't understand, like, I'm in my element right now. Like this is a close game. Like I'm our top contributor. Why are you pulling me out? That's got to be frustrating. Shout out to Blonde. She is. But yeah, so that's always one of those things where it's hard to fully back the front office when you see something like that, with the coaching staff, when you see something like that, because you're just like, out of all your years of coaching, like you're an old school dog who definitely rode the hot hand, like before there was the idea of load management or anything like that. It was, you are hot, you stay in, like you are our guy. And he comes from that era. So to see him eliminate things that are actually wise from that era doesn't make sense to me. Like that's something you keep RJ going until RJ
I mean, especially last season, we all saw it. He's going to run them till the wheels fall off. And then you're going to make such a move like this in a game against the Celtics for opening. Like it was kind of mind boggling, But
it was
go ahead, Marshall.
Yeah, look, I mean, It's only going to be the right decisions Tibbs makes if we win. So
big facts.
The closing lineup, man, that's going to be so tough. RJ should have been out there. I mean, he wasn't. It is what it is. Other guys got to step up. A guy that I was a little bit disappointed in, and I saw it in the preseason. I was a guy that was huge on the side. Getting a little another Villanova guy.
There we go. Yeah. I'm right there with you. Yeah.
Like, his success is going to come on him making shots. I get that. I just feel like he hasn't found his role yet. I feel like he hasn't found his footing of what his role on this team is going to be. So we'll see how that plays out, but they need him to start playing better because he didn't play good in the preseason. I know it's preseason, whatever, but he didn't play good in the opening night. I did like the one play on the fast break, though, where he got the pass. I think it was from RJ, and then he drove baseline and found Hart for that three. I'm sure the Garden erupted on that one when they.
Oh yeah. It was crazy. If I can, I want to take 2 seconds. Shout out to Uncle Freezy and the Blorence Tears family. The Chief Rocker himself is in the building, and I want to shout out my guys Hardwell and Worldwide Al from For the Love of the Game. Those are my brothers. That's where I started over there, Marshall. I started over there before the Love of the Game. Then I came over here. I linked up with this crazy man Celso. We started the Yanks Morning Brew, and then we started the Knicks Morning Brew. So I want to take 2 seconds to shout out those two guys in the chat. But Marshall, I'm right there with you. Like, I literally was like, I'm waiting so I can go to ask that question because Dante DiVincenzo, to me, he didn't show up, right? And that's another silver lining. Our big offseason acquisition didn't show up, and we still lost by 4 points, right? So hopefully this is something we could build on tonight when we face the Hawks and then the Cavaliers on Sunday.
Well, my thing with Dante, though, is we can't expect every new player to come and have that awesome start at the Garden, right? And he was probably thinking about it, right? Oh, I'm gonna be at the Garden, it's open at night. Yeah. Obviously, he didn't show up to the Garden. He was there. His jersey said his name on it. He just didn't actually produce anything. But again, one game, right? So we can't really sit there and say it was a horrible signing. My timeline was filled with people already with that was the worst. And I'm like, wait a second, it was one game. Like, there's so much more we can focus on that didn't go well. Like, let's switch this gear real quick, if you guys don't mind. It has to be talked about. I mean, come on. Now, look, I know maybe I feel this more than most because I am a Jets fan. So all I've done is watch referees screw us left and right all season. But nothing pisses me off more than the afterthought. Hey, we got it wrong. Go screw yourselves. Like, that's all I hear when I read those things. Where are you at with the way that call was done, Marshall?
I mean, what I've come to learn over the NBA the last 3 years since that Kawhi Leonard play was if you land on the foot of a defender, that's a flagrant foul on them. You take free throws and you get the ball back. So for that to turn out to not be that, to turn into an offensive technical foul was incredible. Even Grimes, when he made the 4-point play, he came down on Buddy's foot. I don't remember who it was for the Celtics. We didn't get the flagrant foul on that one either. He's got to make that free throw, no doubt about it, after the timeout. But look, and I know sports don't come down to one play or whatever, but when a game's tight like that, those one plays, they matter. They really, really do. And that was a 5-point swing that ultimately lost by 4 points. So we got the bad end of the stick on that one.
See, what people don't realize, I'm going to throw it to you, Heck, and then Phil. What people don't realize is get your tinfoil hats ready. Here's my theory. Did you guys notice Robert Kraft was in the audience, right? Did y'all see that?
Yeah,
He brought the New England Patriots way. He was throwing a little cheddar over to the guys. He's like, hey, Boston love here. And all of a sudden, you get the worst calls ever, deflated basketballs. Go ahead, Hector. I'm sorry. I had to get it off.
Nah. To me, and I'm not a drinker like that. When I was at the Garden, I was drinking just lemonade. But for some reason, when I saw Derek White on the court, I thought Evan Fournier was out there in the Boston Celtics uniform. Like, is it me or does Evan Fournier and Derek White look so much alike? They got the same beard. They got the same haircut. They wear the same socks as well. I was just weirded out by that one. But no, when it came down to it, the clutch time and that call right there specifically, I'm not sure if that's a call that Tibbs could have challenged? Like, Marshall, could you let me know? Does that fall under the parameters of a coach being able to challenge that when it comes to the foot landed on the opponent's foot?
I'm honestly not sure if he is, but I would think it's a reviewable, like an automatic reviewable thing by the NBA. And did Tibbs call a challenge earlier in the game, or was
he called a challenge early in the game and lost that challenge?
Okay, so yeah, I don't know if he could have challenged that, but I think that's one of those ones that just is automatically reviewed, that the refs can just go to the monitor.
Yeah, and even with the review, still get it wrong. That's what kills me. You know, it's like it makes no sense. Go ahead, Philly.
Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, you know, it's frustrating to be so hung up on trying to implement a new call, you know, like we got to make sure that there's no flopping, that you only look at the action and not what caused the action, you know, like, yes, there's a reaction, but did you watch the cause? Like, if you don't watch the cause, you can't necessarily say what the reaction is, you know? So anybody who watches that play, you know, immediately sees the way that his foot lands. Like, he doesn't go up this way unless he falls on his foot. Like, there's no way that he is at that angle if it wasn't for that, you know? So if you have a call like that, especially on a shooting, you know, position where there's a closeout, at least before you give a flop call, challenge yourself as a ref. Like, this is something new you're implementing. Don't act like you already know how to call these things. Like, this is new. This is game 3 of the season. Like, you're just learning how to do this. Be willing to say, hey, we think it's a flop, but we're going to make sure, you know, because as soon as they would have watched it, they would have seen that it wasn't, you know? And so that's frustrating because, you know, it's one of those things that as a Knicks fan, we can say, hey, you know, like, if this was called, we could have won that game. And everyone discredits. No, you guys still would have lost. Da, 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 da. But any other team, you know, they have a case, a solid case. You might have won that game. So I think that it's unfortunate. I'm not saying we would have won the game if we got that call. But to be able to say that, like, that was a huge blown opportunity is frustrating, you know, because there is that chance that that game would have been different and we would have pulled off the upset on what is undoubtedly the top 2 teams in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, and like if they want to call that a flop, sure, whatever. But like you said, their reaction was there, but because of the action, like that's just a call that simply I believe that they got to make. Like, did Brunson add a little bit to it to try to make it look like more of a foul? Yeah, for sure. But he landed on Buddy's foot, and that's got to be called.
Here's another one, guys, because I'm glad that somebody in the chat said it. What up, JJ? But he even said it, and I was right there with you, bro. Announcers felt like they were so pro Celtics. It was annoying as shit.
Okay.
Right?
I was just making sure because I'm calling the game, and I have like the game audio on. And every time I hear Doris Burke saying Porzingis didn't hit Hartenstein in the mouth when he's bleeding, and it's just like, what are you talking? Also, Doc Rivers. What a terrible acquisition for ESPN.
It was bad. I just felt like the whole time they were like, oh my God, the green is so nice. Like, they're just such a great team. You guys remember how good KP is? It was frustrating as heck. Heck, your face says it all, bro.
Well, I'm so glad that I was in the building that I didn't have to listen to on the TV, right? If you're saying they were like that, but no, when it comes down to the broadcasters, right? I see a lot of people saying that, you know, it's the anti-New York agenda that's going on. Everybody hates New York and stuff. I get that, right? But we wouldn't be having these conversations if we did one thing and one thing only: hit our free throws. And our free throws have been an issue going back to last season. So yes, we can complain about the referees. We can complain about the circle jerk that was going on in ESPN during the broadcasting. But what we have to do, the team has to hit our free throws. That's the only way we can avoid having any of those conversations.
He got both of us on that one, Marshall.
And like my guy Hard Will just said in the chat, Doc sounded like he was a bitter ex-coach out there, honestly.
He did. His voice still sounds like he's coaching. You thought, like, without him yelling like that, you would have got his voice back, but still sounds awful.
Before we let Marshall out here, we're gonna break down. Let's talk a little bit of how you feel about the Knicks Hawks, guys. In the chat, I dropped it right here. Go support Chat Sports. Our boy Marshall Green. There's the link. Go do it. But listen, I said in the beginning of the show, I'll say it again. When you tune in tonight to watch him, bring your beers, get your drinks ready, because let me tell you, you're gonna have yourself a nice little time before the game. How you feeling about tonight, Marshall? What do you think we need to do, man?
It's always fun to play Trae Young, man. I wish he was at the Garden, but can't wait to see the matchup. Brunson, Trae Young. I just want to see us play our game. I want to see us do us, because this is a game that we should win. Like, we are a better basketball team than the Atlanta Hawks, and I want to see who's going to be that guy outside of Randall, outside of Brunson. Who's going to be that third guy tonight? Is it going to be RJ again? I sure hope so. Is it going to be Quickly? I hope so. Or is this a Dante DiVincenzo game? Is this a Quentin Grimes game where he lights it up and knocks down 6-7 threes? Because we've heard Tibbs in the offseason talk about they're going to call plays for him. And well, it's game 2, and I still haven't seen a play called for him. So I want to see it. I just want to see our guys do their thing. Let game 1 be game 1. Leave it in the past. Move on to the next game. Maybe getting away from the Garden for a game, to calm down. Because sometimes when they're cheering for you, when they're cheering against you, it's a little bit different of an atmosphere to play in. So I just want to see them play, show up, and show that you're the better team like you are. Go win the game. Let's go 1-1. Be ready for the Cavs.
Let's go, baby.
So, Marshall, before you bounce, man.
Yes, sir.
We like to always put people on the spot. All right.
Love it.
If you're having to pick a total win number, where are you leaning, bro?
I've been saying anywhere from about 47 to 50. I think, I don't see the win total necessarily growing too much this year, but I also think like the Knicks, I think the Knicks are a better team than they were last year. I think they will go and prove that. Do they go on 2 10-game win streaks following the All-Star break after they trade for Josh Hart like last year? Maybe not, but also Quickly and Randall didn't play in the last 5 games. Brunson and Randall, didn't play in the last 5 games last year. Well, I'm saying anywhere from 47 to 50 or so.
Okay.
You heard it. Marshall dropping that 47 to 50.
I hope it's 47.
Marshall, my
Marshall,
guy,
go ahead.
appreciate you. No, I appreciate you, Marsh. Like I told the fellas, I've been a big fan of yours ever since last year when I first found you guys on YouTube. I've been sharing you with the fellas, and 9 times out of 10, it's normally me that's in the chat, and then it's Phil, and then sometimes it's Celso. So 9 times out of 10, it is me in the chat. But I just got to say, you go out of your way to highlight and emphasize your chat. And I think a lot of big creators, they don't do that. So I want to give you your flowers when it comes to that, because you make sure not only is it your show, but you like to get the fans involved and you engage with the fans. And I think that's a big part that is missing in this space when it comes to content creators. So I got to give you your flowers, and you guys do a great job. And let's have a phenomenal season. Let's have a great season this year, bro.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. And whenever y'all come in the chat, man, I appreciate it. That fires me up. Because in this content creator space, it can get weird, and I've kind of been hesitant to put myself into that. But no, y'all have always treated me well, and yeah, we try to show love to the chat. We do it a little bit different. I know everyone likes to do the post game live shows. We do the live shows during the game as a little hangout for the people. So we're just trying to give some platform for Knicks fans to come together and hang out, and hopefully watch this team get some dubs, because it's a lot more fun when they do.
Yeah,
that's great, brother. That's great,
well,
brother.
Chat, I said it before. The link is in there. Go support our boy Marshall. We definitely will have him back during the season. Hopefully, we walk away with a W tonight. Marshall, man, appreciate you. Everybody in the chat, we're about to open up the open panel. The link is there, and we're going to start off talking a little bit of Knicks versus Hawks. Go ahead, hit the link. Get yourselves in here. Let's have a good time. Phil, Heck, how we feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. Marshall was a great guest. Great guest. Hopefully everybody, if you aren't subscribed to Chat Sports, make sure you guys go out there, subscribe to them. They do a great thing when it comes to the watch-alongs. They drop great insight when it comes to just Knick news in general. And Marshall covering the Giants as well. But I see we got somebody backstage, the Chief Rocker himself. Hold on. We're going to bring him up. We're going to bring him up.
Yeah, we're going to bring him back. I see him back there. Go ahead, hit the link, whoever else. Phil, what were you going to say?
Yeah. So Shout out to Marshall as well. Like, as soon as I hit him up about this and Jigga hit him up, he was mad down to earth, real chill, stand-up guy. So we appreciate him. But I will say I was in Savannah, Georgia yesterday getting the kids the gelato I talked about earlier. And I was rocking my Knicks stuff. And the guy giving me the gelato, this little youngin that, you know, should have got a little bit of that. He was like, "Oh, man, you're a Knicks fan." I was like, "Yep." And he goes, "I'm a Hawks fan." I was like, "Well, that's unfortunate." And he's like, "Unfortunate." He was like, "Well, you guys have one of the worst teams." I was like, "Bro, let's be real." And he's like, "Trae Young's going to destroy you guys again." And I was like, "Are you still banking on that 2021 event? Like, is that still your claim to fame as a basketball fan? You have not moved on." And he kept running his mouth. And then he's like, "We're going to the Eastern Conference Finals." And I started cracking up. I was like, "Are you guys that delusional?"
Yeah, very delusional.
Let's be real. No one's going to the Eastern Conference Finals out of either one of us. But if anyone is, it's going to be us over you guys any day. So a little bit of clownage there. So all you Hawks fans, get out of your delusional realms. But I want to hear what some of our guests have to say about tonight. I'd say we walk in with the dub.
And that's a great segue because I added something new to the show, guys. All right. So anybody in the chat, we will always respect your takes. Okay. Let's do our little disclaimer here. When you come up for the open panel, please respect the terms and conditions. Please be respectful of others on here. I control the buttons. I can tell you to take a hike with a pressity of the button, but we're adding this season. For those of you in the chat that like to, throw some stupidity out there, you'll get a little bit of this.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Don't get one of those. Let's start the open panel. We got Uncle Freezy in the building. Hey, we got Johnny and Sunil's here too. It's gonna be a weird one. Freezy, how we feeling, bro?
Salute. Hey, so first of all, it's an honor being on the panel with you guys, man. It's a pleasure. I'm a big fan of all you guys personally. You know what I'm saying? The Knicks stuff, the sports stuff is secondary stuff, man. But thank y'all for having me, man. I appreciate the opportunity to come and rock with y'all.
Appreciate you,
bro. I appreciate you, Freezy. You know, we go back to the pandemic days, right? People don't know. Orange Tears, Freezy was keeping us sane. You know, when the lockdowns was going on, Freezy was the only voice that was talking Knicks basketball when no one was talking Knicks, and all of us was able to come up on the open panels and have those conversations with Freezy. And Freezy has always been number one in my heart when it comes to content creators that hold space for the fans. And Freezy, you done an amazing job over there at Orange Tears. I was on the show last night with you, Freezy. I just wanted to point that out. You're like family to me, Freezy, and I'm glad you're on the open panel. And admittedly, he said he has a little man crush on Celso. So, I had to throw that out there.
Yo, don't lie, man. Yo, keeping it a stack, man. Keeping it a stack. Jigga is my spirit human. Like,
it's so funny because I was about to say, y'all don't understand. When I jump into Freezy's, when he has his late nights going and I'm in the chat, he's another one of those voices, bro, that I can sit there. I don't got to have anything else playing. I'm just like, all right, talk to me, Freezy. Talk to me. You and Ron, you two are the voices that I put there that I'm just like, yeah, facts. Give me that smooth soul, but you guys drop knowledge and facts. So it's like that comfort R&B station. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you, Freezy. We got Eddie in here too. What up, Eddie?
Eddie, what's good, my guy?
What up, boys? What's going on?
Chilling, bro. You Saturday Night Fever shirt on? What's going on over there, Eddie? Where you going?
What are you doing? I gotta come in here with a fucking t-shirt on. What are we talking about here?
Like, you know me better than that. All right, guys. So let's jump into it. Before we jump into the Hawks game tonight,
I just
want to go around the horn a little bit and tell me how you felt coming out of that first game. Let's start with you, Freezy. After game one, where are you at overall with our team right now, bro? I know it's just one game, but how we feeling?
As a Knicks fan, it's hard not to overreact for after any game or any series of games. Understanding that it's an 82 game schedule, right? Understand it's an 82 game schedule. I was in that space of frustration that we lost, but ironically, it wasn't because we didn't make our shots or the referees. It was merely because we lost the season opener to our rival. Period.
Right.
That's where my frustration comes from. Right? It's because we waited all summer to see real Knicks basketball, and of course, when you wait so long to see Knicks basketball, especially after the way last season ended, there was an anticipation, like, we really want to, put our best foot forward. We didn't, and we lost to our rival. And I was upset about that, but I'm still in the space, in that mindset where I feel like this Knicks team is going to win a bunch of games and do us proud. So I was a little down, especially seeing some of the referee stuff. Jaylen Brown grabbing the jersey and both players getting teched. Porzingis basically doing his best Dusty Rhodes or Macho Man Randy Savage to Hartenstein on a held ball. Jason Tatum invading Brunson's landing. So I was frustrated a little bit by that because I feel like we don't necessarily get calls in big games against teams with reputations. But overall, man, I'm not upset. We played the worst game you could possibly play, and Boston still escaped by 4 points with a couple of their stars going off. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, great point, Freezy. Great point. Eddie, same thing going your way. Want to get your take on it and just throw it around. Let's get Johnny after you and just throw it over to Mr. Sunil. Go ahead, Mr. Presti.
I was absolutely fuming after that game. The fact of the matter is our two big stars, they basically were MIA. There were no shows. Right. And I'm a little bit worried. I'm a little bit worried about this team. I came into the season thinking Brunson might have peaked last year, and I'm worried that he might be coming down a little bit, that the league might have caught up to Brunson, and that's a concern for me moving forward. I'm also concerned about this. I thought at the end of last year, I think this team needed another closer, okay? And they still don't have another closer. Phil talked about, bringing in a KP, bringing in, a Kuzma. Those guys would have helped that team, would have helped the Knicks out the other night. Instead, they brought in Dante DiVincenzo, who was an absolute zero. And I have concerns. I'm a little concerned about this team. And I have to see Brunson come out and be that 50, 40, 90 guy that he was last year. I need to see that all-star Brunson, because if I don't, I'm going to start to get very, very concerned.
Great point, Eddie. Great point. Johnny, going your way. Oh, you're muted, Johnny. Oh, there you go.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Hey, man, first off, you guys are the reasoning right now that my Knicks fandom is coming back. I can't take the heartache of seeing the Jets, then the Knicks, Mets, and Rangers, right? But seeing that game, I mean, to everybody's point and to Eddie's point, that's exactly how I felt. I mean, seeing Dante there, I was like, why is Bridges getting no play whatsoever? I mean, I don't know. I see it. I think I don't believe in moral victories. I never have and everything like that, right? But watching that game, seeing the guys really struggle, it's kind of what Phil was saying earlier, too. If you watch the game, I'm one of them weirdos that like watching games in silence, and he's completely right. It would have looked like we were getting destroyed and just getting smacked, but we didn't. And for me, I can't blame the refs, right? I can only blame ourselves. Sure. That 9-0 run that the Celtics went on when we were leading that game, going, I think, before 2 minutes, should have never happened. If we want to go ahead and win and be a team that's going to be taken serious like that, because, I mean, like Phil was saying, I mean, I don't think that we're going to go far like that, but there's always that hope. And this game right here gave me that hope. And I'm like, okay, well, let's see that. Dude, you could ask Jiggaman. I was like, tackle KP. Please take his knees out or something. Like, this dude is hitting all these open shots and stuff like that. But that's my thing on this, man. I mean, I think give Miles some more play over Dante. Let Dante really earn it with us here. You know, I think the bigger upside for myself is Bridges right now. So that's my take on that.
Sunil, Mr. -20, just for people in the chat that don't know, Sunil lives in Dallas, but he's a diehard Knicks fan at heart, even though he roots for the Mavericks sometimes. Sunil, give us your take when it comes to the first game. How you feeling, brother? Oh, you're muted, Sunil. Hold on. There you go. There you go.
I'm saying the Knicks fans got to stop complaining because the Mavs 1-81 season is fully underway.
Oh, God. Okay, there you go, Sunil. Sunil obviously dropping the hate bomb.
Oh, wait.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Sunil got the first one. Congratulations, Sunil.
Congratulations, Sunil. Congrats. First one of the season. It goes to my guy, Sudi Sue.
Oh, I don't paddle.
Some things are just consistent and predictable. You know, like, of course it was Sunil that got it. Like,
because LA Yankee King's not here.
Yeah, exactly. You got to fill up the airspace for our guy Li. I got Li. No, but serious. Sunil, give us your take when it comes to that first game, Knicks versus Celtics, brother.
If you guys only lost by 4 after playing your worst game, now I understand this is an 82-game marathon. It's not a sprint. Just like it's basically half of what the MLB season is lengthwise, if you think about it. Yeah. The games are spread out to basically give the players an adequate amount of rest. Now, with that being said, things can only trend upwards. Logistic from here. You can use video from the first one. You got, 3 or 4 games against the Celtics over the year, right? Within your same division, it's 4 games. 3 out of 4 isn't bad if you achieve that, and I think they can definitely do that. So it's not all, skunk and shit basically right now. Looking at this game.
Yeah, no, I get that, and Sunil, it's just because us Knicks fans, we just like Freezy said, we've been waiting all year, all summer, I should say, for Knicks basketball. We've been waiting all summer for it, and for the first game for us to lose against our rival, it's a punch in the gut, right? Especially down by only losing by 4 points when the win was literally right in front of us. We could have had that game if we want to hit our free throws. I know my man Ali Wise in the chat said, come on, man. We've been complaining about the refs for decades. The NBA knows exactly what they are doing. 100% right when it comes to that one.
Yeah, they definitely were. And I could see the pro Celtic stuff there. Whoever said that, it was Doris that said that. Yeah, spot on. I was in the car running errands listening to that on a I had my radio app on from my Android, and I was able to catch that somehow. And when that Porzingis, hit in the mouth basically happened, I was like, dude, how are you blatantly blind to not call that? I was ready to I was looking for the Geiger counters and the gamma radiations around me. I was ready to go and turn into a blue, not green. Green is the color of the Celtics. Blue, Incredible Hulk.
The blue and orange Hulk. Bim.
so I'll say this, guys, because, again, we all, as a fan base, when we sit there and break it down in the chat, they've been on fire this whole morning, right? Yes, we know the free throws, right? We know the bad ref calls and all of that. We know if Julius and JB run better, then we're doing great, right? Look at that first quarter. Okay, we were a shit show in that first quarter.
Yeah.
Like, if everybody looks at the fact that we went, what were we, down 5 or 6 at the half, and we all, as a fan base, thought the same thing. Like, shit, we should be grateful that we're only down 5 because it was bad in that first quarter. Could you imagine if we actually started out hot? I don't even think we're complaining about the rest. Yeah, we can talk about missed calls and all that, but the conversation is completely different if we're even hitting 20% of the shots that we missed in that first half. So that's what's giving me so much confidence.
Say something?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Freezy. He's about to throw it over to you right now. Go ahead, Freezy.
So Julius Randle, in my opinion, had a poor shooting night, but everything else he did well. He had 11 rebounds. He had 7 assists. His defense between Tatum and whoever else he guarded for the most part was really good, except for the 2 times he closed out on Porzingis. But by that time, Porzingis was already hot, and the height advantage, him over Randall. I mean, what can you expect at that point? So I don't want to say Randall had a bad game. Of course, we wish his shooting number was different, right? But at the same time, I think Brunson may have had a bad game. There were a few times where he completely ignored Quentin Grimes on a bad shooting night. And if you're not shooting the ball well, can you do other stuff well? You know what I'm saying? So, and not to come in as the resident Julius Randle homer, I love the Knicks more than I love any one player. You know, it's why we travel around the country to catch games to see, you know, our blue and orange. But I just want to insert that. And Atlanta just lost to Charlotte Wednesday.
Oh yeah.
So they're going to be hungry for a win at home also. So it's not like we can just walk into State Farm Arena and throw our jerseys out there. We definitely have to play our best basketball.
I'll just say this, Freezy. You could say Julius Randle had his nice all-around game, but when you're getting locked up by Drew Holiday, who he had a huge size advantage, I have a problem with that. I'm sorry. You got to take advantage of that size advantage. You're a big, strong guy. You play bully ball, and you're getting locked up by Drew Holiday. Granted, he's one of the best, guard defenders in the NBA. But when you're getting locked up by Drew Holiday with that kind of size advantage, I have a problem. I have a problem with that.
Right there. I agree with you. But the only thing about that, though, is they put Drew on him so they can shade Porzingis towards him to double team.
Yeah.
And then that was a strategy that a lot of teams
There was many plays where it was one-on-one.
Yeah. But to Freezy's point, I throw it over to Phil right after this. When Julius Randle was trying to take advantage of it, like to Freezy's point, that's when he got double teamed when Porzingis was coming over.
Right.
Go ahead, Phil.
So I think it's a balance, and the truth lies in the middle. So I think the reason that we're all so frustrated with this game is because we are so loyal to the team, and there's all these expectations that get set for us. All summer you hear everybody from Jalen Brunson's camp like, hey, what you saw last year is going to pale in comparison to what you see. He hasn't even reached close to his ceiling. And then you go into game one with these kind of expectations, with these kind of hopes, and then he shoots 28% from the field. Okay, that's a kick in the mouth as a Knicks fan. Then you hear, hey, Julius Randle, would have been amazing in the playoffs if it wasn't for the surgery, the need for the surgery. He's doing good now. As soon as we get back into the season, you're going to see all-star Julius back. Well, you don't. Okay, now it's another kick in the mouth. Dante DiVincenzo, half the fan base is like, this is the stupidest signing. Why are we just bringing Jalen Brunson's homies instead of trying to get someone that's going to make us compete? And then some of us are like, yo, no, he's actually good. He's going to be good. He's going to be good. And then you have both sides disappointed. He comes in, has less than a subpar game. And so you have half the fans that didn't want him disappointed because they weren't shown up. Those of us that were fighting to at least give him some kind of credit. Now we have to eat our words off of that first game, because nothing was delivered. So I think it's a lot of our expectations get set here. And then we came out with a performance that was under all of those things. So
I'm glad you said that, Phil, because if you remember when we were talking with Fred Katz and Jerry himself said it, where he worries that when we have those high expectations on us, that's where as a fan base, we're like, so if any little hiccup happens, you start to, go out of control, game one or not. Right. And then I'm going to say this, and I mean it jokingly, but you know what? As upset as we can be that we lost that game, I'm pretty sure Skechers is more sad about the outcome of Julius Randle's game that night than anybody else. Ron is in the building, little walk around. What it do, Ron?
Oh, wait, let me give him the proper. Let me give him the proper. Coming in hot with the aviator shades, the man with the smoothest voice on the airwaves, my guy Ron from Stale Neck Fans. What it do?
Bim.
What's good, y'all? What's good? Hopefully, y'all can hear me all right. I'm trying to exit this place. I don't know. They got some music playing in the background. There's a lot of
Oh
people
no, you all
walking around.
good. You all good, brother. You all good, brother.
Yeah, I just wanted to say what's up real quick. I'm out here. I'm actually doing it's one of those. I usually work from home today, but we got a storage unit for the job with a bunch of stuff that we're cleaning out today. So I'm just waiting for a truck to come and killing some time. But what better way to kill time than listen to my guys, Morning Brew Sports?
My guy, Ron. Appreciate you, Ron, like always. Give us your take when it comes to game one and what's your expectations for tonight, and obviously of the conversation that's been going on. Ron, the floor is yours.
Yeah, definitely. Listen, man, as far as everything that's gone on with the Knicks in this last game against Boston, I'm actually positively optimistic about it. I thought that initially the Knicks were going to be able to catch Boston sleeping because it's the first game. But then after watching the preseason, I felt like Boston's a little better than I thought. I thought they'd take more time to gel. They still got to gel, but I think they're a little bit more, cohesive than I expected them to be. And because of that, I thought we might catch that L, but the Knicks came out fighting. And if it wasn't for the fact that we missed our free throws and Julius and Brunson kind of stunk it up offensively, Julius actually had a pretty good game, as Freezy pointed out. We could have won that game easily. We were up with 3 minutes or so, almost 2 minutes left, and still had a chance to win. So I think Knicks fans are so used to us not doing anything. They want so much that they're not realizing that there's positives to take from this. I'm not like, moral victory, but the Knicks actually played bad and still had a chance to win this game. So I look at it like that, and I think we should beat Atlanta. Now, if we lose to Atlanta, I'll be upset. But I think we should be okay, man. I think the Knicks haven't even scratched the surface yet. So as much as other teams have gotten better, we can't discount the Knicks and what they can do if you give them, a chance to get their cohesiveness going. We've been talking about it since the offseason started. The Knicks are going to be a cohesive unit. It's going to happen. The continuity is happening. That's right, the big C word. So just wait. That's right. See? People out here, they know. That's right. There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
There you go.
You heard it on the streets.
Yo, I love how you hear that, right? I just want to fist pump the whole time.
Yeah, same.
Boom, boom, boom. Eddie's having a heart attack over here about Randall Love.
You're complimenting Randall, right? Oh, it's a moral victory, blah, blah, blah. When we needed a basket with 3 minutes to go, I need Brunson or fucking Randall to step up. And they're fucking nowhere to be found. I'm sorry. I'm not complimenting fucking great all-around game. I'm not. We need a basket. We could have won, and we blew it.
Just so everybody know, Eddie is contractually obligated to drop F-bombs every 3 or 4 minutes. Just gotta let you know that's a part of his contract over here with Knicks Morning Brew. Yeah, with Morning Brew Sports.
But with Eddie, I
Go
feel
ahead,
the
Johnny.
same way. I was literally screaming at my TV, like, why is Brunson not having the ball in his hand and scoring? Why is Randall not playing bully ball as he should? This dude's trying to finesse some of these weird shots. I think he went for like 0-3 in like 5 seconds that he just couldn't make a basket and whatnot. So, I mean, it's frustrating than anything because I truly believe we had the shot to beat the Celtics. Look, It's the Celtics and the Hawks for me. I feel like every single time that we play them, we should beat them. I've always because I've never liked the Hawks, and I definitely do not like the Celtics at all.
I will say this too, guys. Right? It's easy again after a loss. It's easy for us, especially an opener, to sit here and say this and this is wrong and this and put on certain people. But you got to also look at the fact that Mitch Robinson couldn't have a good game, right? And we expect that when he's going up against the way he was, right? You're going to see a better game from Mitch tonight. They don't have a KP style that's going to stop Mitch, right? So there's a lot of pieces in a game against Boston that we know need to go right. When you have more than 3 things going wrong, you're going to walk away with a loss like that. Go ahead, Phil.
Go ahead, Phil, and then throw it over to Freezy and then Sunil afterwards. Go ahead, Phil.
So I think once again it comes down to expectations, and realizing what we have. One of my favorite quotes is from Flacco from the Replacements. When he says winners always want the ball when the game's on the line, and how that sets the difference between certain players that are full out stars and certain players that are all stars, you know, and I don't think that confidence and that reliability has come to our guys yet. Like, it has not come to our guys yet. I don't remember who it was, but someone was talking about the major difference, you know, that we can look at from the trajectory of LeBron and MJ's, you know, like career, is that whenever there's a game that mattered on the line, Jordan wanted to make that decision. LeBron more so wanted to give it to somebody else, and if he had an opportunity, get it back, you know, like, and create. I don't think Randall or Brunson, you know, when they have a bad game, can turn on that killer instinct yet with the game on the line. And we need them to do that. I think if we're going to say that we have stars on our team, that's going to be something that we need to actually see to be able to solidify and stamp them as stars, as opposed to like really, really, really good players.
Okay, Freezy, go ahead. Floor is yours. What's your thoughts on that? And then throw it over to Sunil.
Okay, and I'll just be brief about it. I think Eddie is right in that moment. The moment that he was speaking of, I think he's spot on right there. But there were other moments during the game that I felt like others could have contributed and didn't.
Yeah.
Including Tom Thibodeau, when he saw that Boston had a 7'3" guy at center, a 6'10" guy at power forward, and then I think they had Sam Hauser in the game. And when they had height at the rim and a 6'8" Randall was trying to put back baskets at the rim against a 7-footer, 6'10" guy, all of that. I'm not making excuses for Randall. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is I felt like that was the opportunity for Tibbs to do the coveted summertime phrase, small ball, because we've been hearing small ball all summer. If you're a Knicks fan or a Knicks content creator, I think that would have been a perfect opportunity to have Porzingis guard Randall on the perimeter. You know what I'm saying, and take advantage of that mismatch, as opposed to having Boston having all their length camped around the basket, where RJ and Randall would have a hard time doing that. So yeah, there were opportunities. I think there are missed opportunities. Mm-hmm. You know, we'll learn from this and get better. My main thing is I'm just gonna say this one here is water under the bridge. Do I want to win, man? I hate Boston, bro. I don't like Boston cream pie. I hate Boston baked beans, bro. I hate everything from Boston, man. So yeah, man. So you know what I'm saying, man. So if you're asking me, am I upset about Boston? Yeah, man. I hate losing to Boston, but at the same time, there were some things, some lessons we learned from. You know, in years past, this would have been a game where Boston would have been hot stepping on us, been up by 17, cruising the whole game, and they would have been interviewing Boston's coach, and he wouldn't even been concerned about the game. But they were in the dogfight. They won. Whoop-de-doo, Boston. We'll see you again.
Facts. I love how Alawaz, he said, New York Knicks fans think every game is the most important game of the season. You got to love it. Yeah, it's true, right? That's how we're built, right? But we also know how to break it down and move on. Again, no moral victories, but we know. Right. And again, that's why, in a way, I was happy that the things that went wrong, because you're able to really sit here and say, hey, we can literally pinpoint if these little things get critiqued and fixed, we're stomping a team like the Hawks tonight. I'm sorry. I can't see a world where we're losing tonight, guys. And you can call me crazy, but screw Trae Young, man. He ain't Trae Young no more. He's Trae older. Okay, he's Trae older.
After the Knicks game, right? I went outside and started shooting some free throws myself because I felt like I needed to practice after watching that, man.
Right,
dude. It pretty much told everything for me in the beginning of the game when Randall had that opportunity and he goes 0-2 right then and there, right from the jump. And I was like, oh man, it's gonna be one of these games where it's just gonna be kind of off, and then they're gonna break our hearts at the end, you know, and exactly what occurred.
Let me put this one on the screen. 19 Khan agree with, if anything, the Celtics should be the shook ones because they played great and barely won.
Yeah. And that's the thing. The Celtics are supposed to be competing for the first or second seed in the East. And for us to go against a team that's supposed to be one of the big dogs, one of the big ones that's in the East, and we were competing. We were in that game. We were down by, I think the most were 12 points at one time, but we still compete. We came back. We took the lead. Yes, we should have won that game. Absolutely. I'm not trying to make any excuses. We should have won that game, but we were still in it towards the end. With everything negative that was going on, we were still right there. And if a few balls go our way, we win that game. Point blank, period.
Yeah. So let's throw it over to Ron. Ron, because I know you're waiting on a delivery truck. I'm afraid it's going to pop up before we get to talk to you again. Give us a little bit of how you feeling about the Knicks-Hawks game, man. What do you think needs to go right tonight? What are you counting on?
Well, first off, I just think the Knicks need to go play the same way they played against Boston, minus, our two-star players struggling offensively. But really importantly, I hope Thibodeau, to me, I always say this, the guy comes off like a curmudgeon, like a tough guy, like a very disciplinarian type dude. And I feel like he kind of lets this team slide on certain fundamental things that you think a Thibodeau team would have down, like free throws. I still can't get over the fact that this team struggles to hit free throws. It's crazy to me with Tom Thibodeau as the coach. So we got to work on hitting our free throws. It's imperative if we're going to win games consistently in this league. Even with these guys struggling, if the Knicks would have just hit half of those free throws they missed, we could have won the game. It's just ridiculous. So I just think the Knicks needs to go out, however they played against Boston, just go out, play the same way against Atlanta. I think that's enough to beat Atlanta, because I just don't think Atlanta's good enough to beat us consistently if we play like we played against Boston. The other thing is, Rayford Trae Young doesn't scare me. He had one good playoff series against us. They had a good game plan. The Knicks were very limited in their offensive approach, and they got us. Okay, we're not the same team. As a matter of fact, when's the last time you saw us play in a game where our two-star players didn't play good, we sucked from the free throw line, and we had a chance to win? 2 years ago, that we couldn't even talk like that. So I'm just saying, there's some positives, and you're right, Eddie. No silver lining in this. Definitely the guys should have stepped up. But it is what it is. I moved on. That game's over. Next one up. Oh, and also, by the way, I don't want to take too much time. I'm gonna listen, but I'm gonna go check on the storage situation. But I did want to say one thing to not only everybody out there, my fellow content creators. Please take care of your channel. Watch what you got going on. Do a little inventory of all your videos and how you're putting stuff out. Because I don't know what's going on with YouTube, but they're definitely cracking down. They're doing some new stuff. They're trying to do this thing where they're adding ads and doing things, but they're also looking at your channel a little bit more intensely. The Podfather Sim, he just got his channel demonetized, and he's got to wait 90 days to get it monetized again. Yeah. So everybody just, pay attention to your channels. Make sure you ain't got nothing that goes against their guidelines, and maybe just take a look at the guidelines and see, because they may not get you now, but they can get you tomorrow. So that's pretty much it, man.
Thanks, Ron. Appreciate that, Ron.
Appreciate you, Ron. Talk to you tonight, guy.
All right, man. Later.
My guy.
Y'all always love Ron. We're still Knicks fans. Yeah. What's wrong with y'all? Get your ass together.
Exactly.
Go check out Ron and John.
So all I gotta say.
Go ahead.
All I gotta say is, Ed, you can basically be this channel's Vic DiBitetto as he does the Giants and Yankees manager and coaching videos. You can be the official Vic DiBitetto Knicks head coach, rendition for this channel, because I think, Italians do a spot on job of that, basically.
Go ahead, Phil. I know you were going to say something.
Yeah, so I just wanted to share this one thing. After a game that left us all a little bit disappointed, but also a little bit hopeful for what we saw, if you watched Jay Williams talk to Stephen A. Smith after that game, that performance with those two guys doing poor already has people predicting that we are the third best team in the Eastern Conference because of the fact that our two guys didn't stand up, and the team that they thought would easily be top two in the Eastern Conference still struggled to put us away late in the fourth. So that is still promising. That's still promising to at least know that even though those two guys were kind of ghost in productivity offensively, we still have people going, holy crap, the Knicks still had it down to the wire against easily one of the best teams that did something effectively in the offseason and still put them to the wire. So you have guys like Jay Williams calling us the third best team, hands down, in the East.
Yeah, which is crazy. And I'm going to throw it to Freezy because before the first game of the season, which we lost, everybody was talking about we about the fifth. We're number 5. Right?
Yeah,
we about the 5th seed.
Betting books had us under 45 wins.
Yeah, and then we lose to the Celtics, and we jumped up in rankings. That's to
crazy.
Me, pay attention to that because they're seeing the same things we did. If this, and this were little things that went right, this team is solid. What do you think, Freezy, to go from 5 to lose to then jump up to 3?
What I'll say is to that specifically, I'm just going to speak to the points that you mentioned in order. So for one, what it means, what I think it means to the Knicks fans is that the national media does not understand and respect the Knicks culture, for one. Right? So to say a team this good that won 47 games, that could have won 51, 52 games if it were not for late season injuries, to add a piece, come back as the same team, get Josh Hart for an entire training camp and preseason is going to be worse for the wear. What are we talking about? All that means is that people that did that did not understand what was going on with the Knicks. How do you win 47 games, push Miami to the theoretical limit, right? Add a player, keep everybody else except for Obi, and then come back and be a worse team, right? And secondly, right, how I feel about this is this. It's simple, right? I've been watching the Knicks build this since Leon Rose and Tom Thibodeau got here. And I understand the direction that they're headed in. Do I always agree with everything they do? Absolutely not. No human beings always agree 100% of the time, right? So, but my thing is, the reason why I say that is I've been saying all summer that this Knicks team is going to win 60 games. Now, am I on 60-game island by myself? Probably because it doesn't sound reasonable right now. But after you watch that Boston game, the thing that we should, as Knicks fans, be excited about is our 2 best players had a subpar game, and instead of us losing by 30, someone else on the roster stepped up. And we hadn't had that in previous years, where your top guns aren't working. Then you have somebody step up, and not only step up, but step up with confidence. Like, oh, Brunson, you ain't got it going, bro. Randall, you ain't got it going. I got y'all, big dog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's the fact that somebody else, honestly, it's like if you're, say, a Jets fan, right? No knock on the Giants, man. Salute to the Giants. But if you're a Jets fan,
Go Jets.
and you see Aaron Rodgers go down, and you're like, holy crap, our season's over. Because the quarterback we had last year was
doo-doo,
suspect, right? But then you see Breece Hall come back on time and look decent. You see the defense come back and play at a championship level. You see the corner they drafted last year go from looking elite at times to being elite all the time, right? So it's like, okay, so we lost Aaron Rodgers, but everybody else stepped up. And that the mindset when I watched that Boston game was that, man, Randall couldn't throw the ball in the ocean, right? Brunson couldn't throw the ball in the ocean, and he's a point guard, right? But quickly stepped up. And I think as a Knicks fan, I think we need to look at this thing like, holy crap, we have guys on this team that are talented. RJ stepped up early in the game when Brunson and Randall didn't have their thing going. He didn't finish strong offensively because he had to switch and go on to Tatum and be that person, right? But if you're a Knicks fan and you saw Brunson and Randall not step up, but you saw RJ step up in the first half offensively and then step up in the second half defensively, and then you saw Emmanuel quickly slide into that space and just take over for the guys that wasn't scoring. And he did it with confidence and unprompted. So he was unprompted and confident in that moment. So if you're a Knicks fan, man, I don't care what Vegas says, bro. Because Vegas is going to slide that number all season long. When we get to about 20 wins, they're going to be like, yeah, they'll win 47. When we get to 30 wins, they'll be like, yeah, they might win 51. So Vegas is only interested in winning money, taking people's money, bro. That's it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I didn't throw out the 60. Everybody knows I locked in on our first episode. I'm at that 53 mark. That to me is the threshold. Like, we should have them 53. I like how 19 Con said this is early for RJ. He normally don't show up until after Christmas.
Yeah,
I don't see a world where this team wins 60 or even 53 games. I don't see a world where that happens. The only way I see that even being remotely close is if Brunson's an all-star, Randall's an all-star, and RJ becomes the number 3 that we're expecting him to be. That's the only way I see us becoming, into the 50s. That's the way we become the 3rd seed. Also, Mitchell Robinson has to adjust his game and has to be able to go out and guard the perimeter. Now, if all those things come together, yes, I can see us getting into the 50s. But that's a big ask. That's a big ask to happen.
Eddie, I think for me, man, it showed in this Celtics game where the bench stepped up. Because, I mean, if it wasn't for the bench, I think this game wouldn't have even been that close, right?
The bench gave him the lead in the 3rd quarter. The bench.
And for me, look, as somebody that works in finances all day, right? In the NBA, if the Knicks are not – it's so much better when the Knicks are doing their thing, man, within the NBA itself. So I'm praying and hoping that they do. I said 50 wins this year, just because they are bringing back that nucleus together, and a lot of the core players didn't really leave. So to me, that bench showed me that, like, okay, once Brunson does show up, because he's going to, and the only one dude I've always been very suspect about has always been JR. I don't know, man. Like, there's something about that dude. I just wish he would just be the guy that he needs to be on a constant, especially when we go into the playoffs and not just dwindle and we don't know who this guy is anymore. So
hold on real quick. That's a great take. Hold on, Eddie. I'm gonna throw it to you. So, guys, we got another person backstage. We're gonna bring him up. Before we do, my bro Phil. Yo, I'm looking at the clock, bro. You gotta check out that hotel. So unmute your mic. Give us a Phil all caps take on this Hawks game tonight, and then segue your ass off the show. All right, go ahead.
All right. Yeah, I got to check out of this hotel. They're waiting for me. But thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I truly think that today should be a victory. Freezy said it earlier. We shouldn't take it lightly, especially they come off of loss just like we did. No one wants to go into the season 0-2. You never have happy fans when you start off on that trajectory. So I think we have to not take it for granted. We also have to remember that we are not the greatest perimeter defenders. We need to be, but we're not. And so when you guys have guys like Trae Young and DeJounte Murray and, a few others on their team that can, hit from 3, we got to make sure to lock that down. But I'm hoping that we see a consistent performance from RJ and Quick that we saw in that last game. And I don't see Mitchell Robinson struggling. We're not going up against the KP. We're going up against a very not as superior big man when it comes to the Hawks. So if Mitch steps up a little bit and we see just a little bit of offense from Jalen Brunson or Julius Randle, I think we walk away with this victory and something to look forward to. Bottom line, I'm going to be hopeful for the start of the season. Like I said, we played one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference, walked away competitively. That at least gives me hope. I'm going to take that hope into tonight, hopefully get that victory and don't have to go to sleep depressed tonight. But thank you all so much for watching the episode. Freezy, Johnny, Eddie, Sunil, Jay Boogie down there, and always my brothers. Thank you guys so much. Love you guys.
Love
Talk
you,
to you
Phil.
soon.
Love you, bro. Drive safe.
Do your thing. And remember, you're in a different time zone. Just know that, Phil. Okay,
Appreciate
so the
it.
next game tonight will be at 6, not Not okay. Just remember.
All right.
Thank you for that. Love you.
All right. So listen, we got our boy backstage. We're gonna bring him up, but let's take a second, do a couple shameless plugs real quick. Number one, if you haven't yet, smash the like button while you're here. Just nicely, just a little thing.
Just gently, like our friend Jerry said.
Smash that subscribe button, share it with your friends. Guys, upcoming next week, we got a lineup for you. On Monday, we got Steph and Bondi joining the show with us.
Yes,
and
sir.
Set your calendars. Next Wednesday, November 1st, we got John Starks in the building. Make sure to turn those notifications on. Share with your friends. Everybody come back and enjoy yourselves. Ladies and gentlemen, bring him up. Where's our boy Jay Boogie? Where you at?
Bugs.
Okay.
There we go.
The
closer himself.
Salute. 3 capital S's, man. Blessings, health, happiness to everybody, man. I saw y'all was on, man. I'm in the whip game right now, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm about to get ready to pull up to this game tonight. You know what I'm saying? It's time to even up that jersey number like Brunson got, number 11. What that mean? We need to be 1-1 after the night. You know what I'm saying? So we need to just handle our business and do what we need to do. The small things is going to win this game. Continue on getting them loose ball. Continue on letting them get one shot, rebound, we out. But we must make free throws. I don't even want to hear nothing about Boston. Boston is straight up soft. They showed me what they got, which is nothing the other day. We beat ourselves, and I want everybody to know that. When Hartenstein jumped up that old boy and he told him straight in his face, you was scared. And I saw that expression on his face. He wasn't scared. Boston don't have nobody that want to jump out there. They don't lost their bully players, you know what I'm saying? So don't even worry about Boston. We just need to continue on being us and handle our business and do what we need to do on the court and don't beat ourselves. I'm in the building tonight and I'm in the tunnel with West tonight, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to be turned up all the way around the board, you know what I'm saying? I tried to reach Freezy, see where he was at. He didn't want to answer my phone call. I was going to pull over and pick him up, make sure he's around. He didn't want to answer my call this morning, man. But I hope everybody feeling good, feeling great for themselves. Y'all know what time. It's basketball season, you know what I'm saying? It's still football season, man. But more importantly, I hope everybody in the greatest form of health, man. Just know anything that you're going through, we don't pray that you go through it. We pray that you get through it, man. All blessings to everybody, man. Anybody going through anything with something, man, just know we got prayers for you. Salute, 3 capital S's. And flowers go out to this show, man. Everything y'all been doing throughout the winter, throughout the spring, throughout the whole entire year, man. Flowers go to y'all. I've been seeing y'all all over the place, man. Phil told me he get ready to check out. We don't do no checkout. We do walkout. Just put that money back on that card to say when you took it off when I booked it. I ain't coming to the front desk. What are you talking about, man? Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you need any more proof that Knicks season is back, you got Jay Boogie and Freezy on the same panel here on the Morning Brew. Come on, Biznatches.
That's my older brother right there. That's my older brother, man. I'm 55, man. Jay Boogie only got me by 17 years. Man, that's my older brother right there.
That's right, man. I know I'm 72 years old, man.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Freezy, Boogie, we gotta figure it out. November 18th, Knicks are in Charlotte. We gotta figure something out.
Yeah, I'm there, bro.
We gotta go. We gotta make it happen.
Man, you supposed to have a grandstand. We supposed to be live there. Come on now.
Yeah.
It's your town. You got to be live somewhere.
Boogie, don't make me jump on a bus. I'll jump on a Greyhound.
Let's
real
go,
quick
Heck.
and head
Let's
to Charlotte.
go. You know what?
Don't tell me.
Man, you're not getting on no bus. I'm booking a flight to you, man.
You ain't jumping on Heck, you not jumping on the trailways, brother? You don't like trailways?
I get scared of the trailways, honestly.
Hey, look, Startup Knicks is in the building too. Yo, let's make it happen. Actually,
let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. Let's talk about it behind the scenes.
Yeah, and we're working on something right now. The Dilworth's Bar and Grill in Charlotte that I do the Jets events at. Trying to line something up that we can do a pre-gamer there before the game, November 18th. We'll do a little live panel, go to the game, come back. We're gonna figure it out. We'll get this panel together and we'll get it done right. But guys, before we wrap up the show, let's go around the horn, Heck. Let's talk about what we want to see tonight, what the outcome of this Hawks game, and then we'll wrap this show up. I'll start with you, Heck.
Build off of the first game, even though there was a loss. You still did some good things when it came to that game against Boston. The defense was solid, going into the fourth quarter. Not that many points that were given up. The best thing the Knicks got to do is guard that 3-point line. Mitchell Robinson, I want to see Mitchell Robinson be able to step up and be good against the above average centers in the league. They don't have a great center in Atlanta right now, so I need Mitchell Robinson to be dominant tonight. You don't got to worry about a stretch 5, Mitchell Robinson, so I'm going to need you to get your blocks, get your rebounds, and stay out of foul trouble. That's the one thing. Stay out of foul trouble, Mitchell Robinson, and let's see if RJ can build off of a great game 1 and let him have a great game 2. And, of course, Emmanuel quickly is going to be in his bag, so I'm happy to see what's going to happen tonight.
All right, go ahead. Freezy dropping on us, bro. What we need tonight?
Oh, you're muted, Freeze. You're muted, Unc.
I got him. No,
there you go.
Yeah. So we need Jalen Brunson to pass the basketball a little bit more. This team is so balanced that we don't need any one player to do hero ball. Just trust if you pass the ball, it'll come back to you if we need a shot. Also, when we play playoff caliber teams, it's not just about winning the game in a regular season. When you play these playoff caliber teams, you have to send a message to the league that you are legit. And so for that reason, I think the Knicks will win in a close one against Atlanta. And it'll be because Randall, Brunson, Quickly, RJ, Hartenstein, everybody plays team basketball. Remember, it's about the whole and not about the individual parts. If we just keep that in mind, play team basketball, we can beat anybody in the NBA.
Facts. Eddie, throw it over to you. Then we're gonna throw it over to Johnny, Sunil, and then to Jay Boogie to close us out to cap the show. Go ahead, Mr. Presti. The floor is yours.
I need to see Brunson come back to form to where he was last year. I need to see hit those 25 points. I need to see Julius Randle play bully ball and absolutely punish the Hawks. And most of all, I want to see Mitchell Robinson step up. He's going against Clint Capella and Okongwu. I need to see him dominate these dudes because these aren't stretch 5. These are guys that play in the interior. And I need to see him get those offensive rebounds. I need to see him getting those alley-oops. I want to see him score 10 or more, dominate the paint. And I want to see the bench come out. And I want to see, a wire-to-wire victory. I want to see the ball spread out. And I don't want to see us losing at all. Wire-to-wire victory. Let's dominate. Let's get back to 1-on-1.
Just want to add something. That first game against the Celtics, not one play for Mitchell Robinson when it comes to a pick and roll alley-oop, not even one attempt, and that's something that has to change. Go ahead, Johnny. I'll throw it over to you, throw it over to Sunil, and then throw it over to the closer.
So pretty much everything Eddie just said was exactly what I was gonna say. So I'm like, thanks, bro. I appreciate you. But kind of to what Jigga was saying earlier, we cannot start off slow. That we can't go again 0-7 the way we were doing it in the beginning. I mean, there was some ugly shots. And I want Randall to literally be inside the paint and just dunking on everybody, man. And then show them, like, look, this is how I'm going to play ball this year, and this is what we're going to do. And exactly to your point, Heck, with Mitch and all that, exactly, he needs to guard a lot better, man. He can't we just can't. So that's my take on that, man. But I'm hyped. I'm ready for the season. I mean, every single day, it's an exciting time, man. It's a good time to be a Knicks fan. It's a good time to be a New York fan right now because there's a lot of moving parts that are coming up. So, but thanks, Eddie. You took pretty much everything I had to say. So I have to make up some, bro.
You got a big mouth. I'm sorry.
That means he was right? That means
there you go.
Means you know what you're talking about, Eddie. Good shit. All right.
Sunil, want to throw it over to you. Get your take on it. Sunil, you can hear us?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, brother.
So can you you guys can hear me, right?
Perfect. Yep.
Okay. So first thing we need to do is get Trae Young a membership to Hair Club for men with that balding hair look that he's got. Kind of give them a little bit of money. You know, and the way we can do that is, of course, by showing up and showing out for all things that I'm not going to reiterate that were already mentioned here. Show up, show out, get Trae Young a hair club for men membership, even it up at 1-1, and move on. Not you, Hector.
No, but that's what I'm saying. He
See,
needs to join the dark side, right? So Neil, just come on, just shave it off. Stop trying to hide it. Just come, Celso. You still got hair. I don't know why you always do that. I know you like to make me feel good about it, but
yeah, but listen, I accept what happens once you get in your 40s. All right, this shit just seems to move back further and further on its own.
Listen, this shit happened in my 20s, bro. So you're good talking about 40s. This shit happened at 29.
Hector,
Yeah, I still got nice, really good hair, and it's nice.
Oh, rub it.
Well.
You know what?
Don't be showing off, Johnny. And you got the good genes. That's what that shit is.
Hector,
What up, Eddie?
when you make it big, we're gonna take you to Evan Fournier's guy, where you got that whole thing.
I'm good. I'm good. I do not need the French lineup. I'm good when it comes to that. Boog, would have throw it over to you. Boogie, wrap us up. Take us out of here.
Appreciate you, Johnny. Appreciate you. Go ahead, Jay Boogie. Give us them closing lines, bro. Let's go.
Man, you know what time it is. Got to handle our business right now. This time around this season, I got my swag up. I'm fresh to death, feel like Julius with the haircut. It's for the views, my face good on any channel. You see me, camera, I'm talking straight this for the panels. I want to see team. Y'all talked about team together. Everybody always matter. Team, I want to see the Knicks be like the podcasters. What that mean by being about the podcasters? Anytime you see different podcasts, you see different guys from other podcasts. What that mean? We all for one another. We all get together. We all play for one another. We all there for one another. Let the Knicks start being like a podcast and be there for your player. But represent him just like you represent yourself. Everything else will fall right into position. And I believe IQ, I must put this out here. IQ is playing for the league, y'all. He's not playing for the Knicks no more. He's playing for the league, and that's a problem. And when you got a person that's hungry, that's chasing that bag, you know what I'm saying, right now, you're going to get his best effort. And everybody else need to do the same thing. Grimes, I need you to take Trae Young, put him in that chicken wing, because he's going to be trying to check you because he figure you the easiest one to check. Don't play no games with him. Stop looking for the offense to come to you. Sometimes you got to just take the offense and put it in the hole yourself, man. It's a difference from being a scorer and a shooter, man. Stop being a shooter and be a scorer sometimes. I look for us to be 1-1 tonight. Last year we own Atlanta. They're going to feel like they want to, change up a little thing, how we played them last year. They're going to come out swinging. If they ain't won a game neither. So this is a big boy game. But everybody be for yourself, play for yourself, go all out for your teammate, go out all out, leave everything on the floor, man. We don't want to start out 0-2, man. We need to get this W tonight, man. And y'all men right there doing a great job, man, hosting the game, man. So salute everybody in the chat, man. Blessings and help to everybody that's in the chat, man. Everybody that's rocking and supporting this orange and blue, man. We keep that umbrella above us. And they ain't for the raindrops, but we dodge the raindrops. And they ain't for the sun, because we let the sun to shine on us. That's for the blockers and the haters. We keep that orange and blue umbrella up, man. Keep hating on us, man.
Let's go. Facts, yo, Boogie, appreciate you. Freeze me. We got to keep having you come back, my guy. Appreciate you joining us today, too. Eddie, loved your post games. Y'all can look forward to that after every game next morning. That night, Eddie will be dropping those. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. Let's go, Knicks. I'm going to take everybody off right quick. Another one in the books.
Another great one. Another great one. Shout out to the chat. My guy, 19 man, Keith Turner, Uncle Freezy from the Bloomer Sears, Eddie Presti, Jay Boogie, the closer, Sunil, Johnny was great. The open panel. Shout out Marshall Green. This was a great episode today, Freeze. This was a great episode.
Facts, man. And listen, again, we say it all the time, guys. We do this, and if it wasn't for you guys in the chat that are constantly supporting us and hanging out with us, we'd just be talking to ourselves, and that would really suck. So thank you for hanging out with us, talking about our lovely Knicks. Appreciate you guys. Again, Monday, Stephen Bondi. Wednesday, John Starks. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say, because last night when I was on Freezy, you just said we'll be talking to ourselves. When we first started, that's what we was doing. That's what we was doing. Different burner accounts. I'm doing Yanks Morning Brew. You in the chat with 3 or 4 accounts. I got 2 accounts myself. That's how. Shout out to Zook as well. He was in there with different accounts. That's how we started.
Good news. We got 5 people watching. Then you're like, well, 4 of them are us. I'm like, we got 1 watching today.
No, but shout out to everybody that's in the chat. We really appreciate you guys, and just know this season we're going to be putting out great content. Next week while John Starks will be on the show, I'll be in Puerto Rico. Right. But while I'm in Puerto Rico, I will still be vlogging. I will try to find some Knicks fans while I'm out there to get some content. And when I come back from Puerto Rico, you can catch me outside of Madison Square Garden. Every time the Knicks are playing a home game, I will be out there to be interviewing different Knicks fans. So we are going to be putting out different content for you guys this season. And make sure you guys tune in to me, Celso, Phil, and Jerry this Monday for the next episode of Knicks Morning Brew.
Facts. And those Jets Giants fans in the chat, 2 o'clock today, right here on the Morning Brew. You got Hector and Joe of the Shift representing the Giants. You got me and Italy Jet representing the Jets. We got a little Jets Giants preview.
About an hour. I need to go get me some chicken nuggets before that.
Facts. Time to eat something, right? Appreciate everybody hanging out, guys. Smash that like, hit the subscribe, share with everybody. On that note, let's go, Knicks. Deuces.